Hi, I'm John McGuire. I am the product manager for Global Search. I'm going to take you through some of the changes that we are getting ready for 13.3. So the first one, now that we've actually gotten GitLab.com rolled out to all of our bronze and above subscribers, we are going to focus on addressing some operational maturity areas. This has a lot to do with some of the reporting, alerting and monitoring that we need in place, as well as addressing some of the edge cases that will improve performance. So the first one is specific to slow searches that we see happening for larger groups. Sometimes when we see larger groups, we actually see a pretty large increase in query response time, as much as 5 seconds. We think that this is probably due to kind of one of the ways Elasticsearch works, where as you actually have all these different projects that are in a larger group, it's going to search across each one of these project IDs. And essentially after so many times, it just takes a much longer time period. So we're going to find and test a couple different ways to address this. We do have some ideas on what will actually make it go faster. And if it doesn't really resolve the root cause of this problem, it should still make search faster anyway. All right, the next one is also targeting performance. Sometimes on the advanced search result page, specifically when you're doing a code search, you will find that it can take up to a minute to completely load the page. The page actually starts to paint pretty quickly, like within a few seconds, but then it just hangs for a long period of time while it's loading other elements, and there's still actually a search request going on. And then it will finally finish loading, including adding a few more results. And overall, it can take more than a minute for that page to load. So we're going to, this may be related to the previous issue. It may not. We're going to take a look at it and see if we can figure out how to make this work better. All right, so for the next one, we actually want to automate the deletion of our old indexes after a reindex is completed. So this would, primarily be to help self-manage users. And right now, we've done a lot in the previous releases where we've added a button to allow you to do reindexing. Well, today you would still need to go in and run a write command to delete that old index, or it's just going to sit around taking up extra space. That is better than the process we had before, but the last piece of this is actually like, why do we leave that old index there? Let's actually go and remove it. Let's do that automatically. And we do realize that some system administrators probably don't want to remove those old indexes, or they might have a reason to not remove them for a period of time. So this will come with a button that allows the administrator to disable the delete index process. And when they are ready, they can just go and do it the current method of just running the write command to remove it. All right, this next one is pretty exciting. This will be one of our first big rank improvements since we've gotten Elasticsearch working on GitLab.com. This will also help improve relevancy for self-managed users that are using advanced global search. The problem that we kind of ran across was that when you actually do an issue search or an MR search, there's this little piece in the query that actually makes it do a sort by updated at in descending order. And that means that it's not really taking into account any of the Elasticsearch scoring that's happening. So you're not necessarily really seeing a rank or relevant results based on what you search for. You're seeing anything that could have been returned and then sorted by updated at in descending order. So that's way too high to a freshness level, and it can make several cases where you're trying to search for something very specific very hard to find. It can bury it, especially if it's old at all, or if there's a lot of results that frequently happen with the type of search that you're conducting. So fortunately, this is actually a very quick fix. There's even a chance we'll be able to get it into 13.2. At this point, it is not in 13.2, but it might go into 13.2. And if not, we'll certainly get it in for 13.3. And you'll see an immediate improvement to issue relevancy as well as MR search relevancy. All right, the next one. So I kind of noticed that when you're in Slack and you paste a search URL in Slack, you get back information that's not necessarily that helpful. And this is because we don't have some of the metadata in place that allows for Open Graph to really unfurl the information for URL correctly. And we can improve that. So we are going to take a look at just adding some extra metadata to that. That should be a relatively easy and quick fix for us to have something that's more useful in the result that we're going to have. And I give the example of how CNN's classic unfurl actually has some very helpful information. All right. And for the last one, I wanted to just remind you that we do love to have our users and customers give us more feedback. You can track the status as they're actually going through 13.3 by visiting our milestone board or by going to our roadmap and link into any of the epics that we have and leave us comments, leave us upvotes, downvotes, whatever you want to give us as feedback. All of it is extremely helpful and definitely helps us in making decisions of what's going to create the best value for our customers. Thank you.